Hello, YouTube. We are continuing our playthrough of PioFiore. Today we are finishing out Yang's route and switching to our next love interest. Who did I pick? Let's see. You can watch me play at twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video!
And then I need to bring up my walkthrough. Okay, because we need to go to chapters. Yang. Because we want to get the good end, so we need to go to chapter 7 and set it to low. Yes. Vroom. Fast forward. Yeah, we're just getting the last two endings for Yang here. And then we will be on our way to the next route. Alright, so we're going to say, if I go to you, what will become of Yang? The Falzone family is after Yang, right? If it is your wish, perhaps we could let him go. Don't believe that man's lies. A mafia boss is not a job for the humane. Well said. There's something particularly convincing about it, coming from you. I was silent, looking at them with bold eyes. And we're fast forwarding through this. Shot my man, and now they're fighting again. When Lee attacked, Yang came to save me. He didn't cut me off, or say he was no longer interested. Considering the kind of person Yang was, my heart filled with happiness. When I thought back on when he saved me, my heart beat even faster. I remembered what Yang told me before. Give it up. Why do you think I've let you be? I could have taken you by force any time. If Yang says the same thing to me tonight, I had been longing for his return, but I couldn't help but tense up. Oh, Yang, welcome back. I'm sleeping. Despite my tension, Yang said very little and lay down on the bed. Why do I have mixed feelings? I silently stared at Yang, and shortly afterwards, I could hear him fall asleep. So much happened today. I understand he's exhausted. I quietly started to get ready for bed, careful not to wake Yang. And now we're taking care of Elena again. We're skipping those. Fast forward. Elena's recovery was better than we expected. Yang told me to watch her for 2 weeks, but her withdrawals was subsided after a few days. After a week, she began to show me the same smile she used to give. It seemed the drugs that were given to her were only the ones in circulation before, and not the red peony. She was very lucky that the red peony hadn't been used on her while she was at Lee's side. If we saved her too late, it could have been too late for her. What's the matter, Elena? It's kind of funny. I've gotten so accustomed to the Chinese porridge. She must have eaten similar food at Lee's place. I used to love risotto, but lately I've come to like this more. It is delicious and easy to eat, right? Even when I don't have much of an appetite, I can't I can eat this. Hmm. Say, Pink. What is it, Elena? That man is no longer here, is he? Yes. So everything's fine now. Did he die? Yes. Then he really is gone. Elena's eyes lowered and she sighed. Who killed him? The Falzone? The Visconti? I would rather not talk about Lee when Elena is in this kind of state. But I wanted Elena to know the whole story if it would help her relax, so I decided to be honest. Lee was connected to both of those families, but Yang was the one who stopped him. I see. Come to think of it, that man would say from time to time that he was going to drag Yang down and bring the Lao Shu under his control. He must have done many things to warrant his death by his own family. Elena's shoulders slumped with a sigh. Her body may be feeling better, but seeing her expression, I remembered how she was treated when she was at Lee's. More than her body, I was worried about the emotional scar she would have to bear. But really, you're okay now. I wanted Elena to feel as safe as she could, so I continued. Yang has no plans to hurt you, Elena. Elena peered into my eyes and asked me as if she was looking for an answer. Lee told me that you'd become Yang's woman. Is that true? Well, that was the story we told the others here. Did I need to hide it from Elena as well? She asked so suddenly I didn't know what to say. If she had asked me a little while ago, I may have said no. But the reason I hesitated now was because I'd realized my feelings for Yang. Elena saw me go silent and looked at me. And there's one more thing that's been on my mind. Oh, what is it? I heard the men here talking amongst one another. I heard the Lao Shu were going to take care of the Visconti as soon as possible. If a full-scale battle begins, I wonder if this place would be safe. Elena's question and the anxiety she felt were legitimate. Ooh, we can talk today, people. If conflict erupted, there was a chance this place would turn into a battlefield. I don't want her to go experience danger. I don't want her to go through any more. If that is true, I'm going to ask Yang if he can at least return you to the church. You two must be close. I don't know if he'll listen, but I'll try my best to convince him, okay? I promised Elena. If that's what you want, go ahead. It is what I want, sir. What? Yang's response was so easy, I didn't know what to say. After talking to Elena, I immediately went to Yang to ask. I wanted to update him on Elena's condition and asked to send her back to the church as soon as possible. I never expected him to agree so quickly, and my eyes grew wide. I'll have my men prepare a car. Did you want to ride with them? I can. Do as you please. Both the Falzone and the Visconti have been slow lately. Going to Arca shouldn't be a problem. Why don't you make an appearance at the church? I never expected Yang to say such a thing. He's kind, but he's too kind. Was Yang this kind of person? As much as I doubted him, Yang's suggestion honestly made me really happy. Maybe, if I asked him now, if I told him I wanted to go back to the church, he may let me. Such a thought crossed my mind. But I didn't have the courage to ask. What if Yang said, do as you please? I'd have to separate from Yang. Before I knew it, I found myself longing to spend my days with him. Pink stepped out for a moment. Whenever I didn't need to converse with anyone, I couldn't help but think back to that day when that man took me. The day of the provisioning in Strano. Pink, sorry for the wait. I bought you some too, so let's eat together. Huh? She should have been waiting for me outside, but she was gone. I looked around to see where she went. Just then, I saw someone being taken into the alley, her golden hair shone in the setting sun. Elena's so gay for me, which is perfect, because right back at her. What are you doing? Damn it, she saw us. What a pain. But she's a pretty nice looking broad. I'm sure she'll fetch a premium. Stop! The men's hands reached out for me. I tried to resist, but they punched me too, and Pink and I were taken. Ugh. Oh. I was taken to an abandoned building, and I felt a needle pierce my skin. My vision went blurry, and my body was hot, yet my mood felt much lighter. No matter what was done to me, it didn't seem to pertain to me. She seemed to have been taken to a different place. At first I was worried. Was she safe? Was she enduring anything horrible? But as time went on, I couldn't think about anything. We're going to send these women home on the next ship, right? What a waste. Did you want to have more fun? Oh, that's awful. Well, that too, but depending on where they're sold, they'll die anyway, right? I heard the men talking. I no longer had the energy to understand what was being said. Hey. Oh, Lee. What's the matter? Don't count that woman. Give her to me. What? But I've already reported the amount of women to the homeland. Huh? Can you not listen to my order? Oh, no, I mean, of course you can have her if you say so, Lee. Are you sure you're okay with her? We already used her. Ugh, gross. I can tell. He grabbed my arm, which was dirty. I like her face. I'm taking her with me. Make up some excuse to the home country. Ugh. It's all so gross. I hate it. I hate it. Yucky. Yes, sir. I was thrown into a pretty little room. The man called Lee spoke to me in a tone that was reminding me. You listen to me. You are my toy. I will have you here until I'm bored of you. If you stay quiet, then I'll feed you and maybe even dress you up. Doesn't that make you happy? Are you listening? Yes. By that time, I had already lost the capacity to think about anything. So I barely understood what he was saying to me. Reflecting back on that time without the drugs in my system, I saw it clearly. That man saved me. Sure. If he hadn't given me a hand that day, I would have ended up with a worse fate. Okay, that is true. However, he was still awful to you. As long as I didn't upset him, he wouldn't hit me. And if I listened to him, he fed me. Whenever I ran out of drugs and felt pain, he gave me some. If I wanted it, he granted my wish. Not having a supply hurt so much, it drove me mad. As time went by, I remembered what he gave me. Oh God, I'm so glad you were both safe. When we returned to the church, Sister Sophia cried as she welcomed both of us. None of us were able to get in contact, so she must have been so worried all this time. Sister Sophia looked even thinner than usual. When we arrived at the church, Elena said she was tired, so she walked to her room. I decided to have a talk with Sister Sophia. The things that have happened to me and what happened to Elena. I'm sorry for not being able to contact you for so long. It doesn't matter now. You two have finally returned safely. That alone is enough to be thankful for. But I have to go back. No. But why? Her face clouded, and she clasped her hands together in prayer. I put my hands over hers. Please don't worry about me, Sister Sophia. Yang is protecting me at the moment. I can't believe it. That Yang of the Lao Shu. Yes, I completely understand what you're thinking. Amongst the Burlone mafias, the Lao Shu were the most notorious. Before I was involved with them, I didn't agree with the things they did either. It was only natural for Sister Sophia to be distrustful of them. If it were the Falzone family, Why would she bring up the Falzone family? I wondered for a moment, but it was clear the difference. Their donations to the church were immense. Furthermore, they were compromised of pure Italians and very religious. That's part of it. I didn't blame Sister Sophia for thinking so. I do. But I can't trust the Falzones. I've seen the Falzones sacrifice many people. Please take care of Elena. She's been emotionally scarred. So you really can't stay behind? I'm sorry. Please, be careful. I hear that Yang is a dangerous man. He is. Yes. Thank you, Sister Sophia. By the time I went outside, it was evening. I looked out into the gentle, dark red sky and recalled Sister Sophia's words. I used to think that Yang was dangerous. But what about now? He wasn't only a dangerous person. I know that he could actually be kind as well. I continued thinking about Yang as a person until I returned to the Lao Shu base. When I entered the room, Yang was already there. He was sitting on the bed, drinking directly from the bottle. Seeing how light the bottle was in his hand, I could tell that the contents were almost empty. But he doesn't look too drunk. There was still reason in his eyes. Yang clicked his tongue and muttered, "I can't get drunk." He seems like he's drunk a lot, though. I wonder if he was worried about something. That's when I remembered. I heard the men here talking amongst one another. I heard the Lao Shu's going to take care of the Visconti as soon as possible. If a full-scale battle begins, I wonder if this place would be safe. Yang, I could be wrong, but are you going to fight the Visconti soon? Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow? I may be able to have fun for the first time in a while. I have to get drunk, or I can't sleep. I see. I responded in a lamenting tone, but Yang seemed to be having fun. But I just felt anxious. If a battle begins, so many people will die. I'm sure even if I ask him to stop, he wouldn't listen to me. I knew how powerful Yang was, yet it didn't quell the anxiety rising in my chest. I have a favor to ask of you. What is it? He gave me a curt response and didn't look my way. If something were to happen to him tomorrow... I couldn't gather my thoughts, but I needed to tell him tonight. Silence fell over the room. If I can't express it to him with words, I must tell him without words. I threw my body at him and pushed down the defenseless Yang. Girl being forward. The bottle fell from his hand, and I could hear it clang and roll onto the floor. Hmm. Yang seemed surprised, but looked back up at me with cold eyes. Finally, our eyes have met. His gaze seemed rather hollow, so I couldn't tell if he was actually looking at me. But that alone made me feel relieved and happy. I was thinking, you may not come back tomorrow. And that scares me. My fingers trembled, and I grabbed Yang's clothes. I don't know how to be rid of this anxiety. But I could do this. The only thing that could save me. Or so I thought. What do you want? His low voice was direct, and I couldn't bring myself to answer. My fingertips touching him were hot. If there's something you want, reach out for it. Express it yourself. As he prompted me, I didn't want to lose him. I was scared of what was to come tomorrow. So, I decided to reach out to him. I closed my eyes and put my lips to his. I didn't really know what to do, so I gave him a small peck that lasted just a moment. I pulled back, feeling the heat on my lips. My heart was pounding so fast I thought it would burst. But despite how I felt, his golden eyes still remained cold. The unstoppable heat he couldn't endure that used to long for me was no longer there. I don't feel like it. What? I can't get in the mood tonight. Oh, of course. I thought back on my actions and felt my face burn with embarrassment. I was acting selfish. I regretted it and got off of him. Yang put his hand on my head as if to calm me and muttered, "If I can, I'd rather reach for you when I want you, just like that night." Sir, I'm trying to express my love for you. Words are hard sometimes. Just be nice. He fell out of love with me. He got bored with me. Yang? I knew which night he was referring to. I have never felt like that in my life. So I'm interested. What would happen if I got you when I wanted you? But I don't know if I'll feel that way again. Damn, boy. You're breaking my heart over here. I couldn't say anything, and he looked away, picking up the bottle on the floor. I'm going to drink a little more. You rest. Resolve. Others. While Sister Sophia wasn't looking, I snuck out of the church. I still felt weak and couldn't walk straight, but without turning back, I stepped out onto the night streets and ran. I knew exactly where I was going. Even though he told me to, I was wide awake. I couldn't fall asleep so easy, and I ended up being awake all night. The following day, I was left alone in the dining hall with nothing to do. Yang, Fei, and Lan were all getting prepared, and I barely spoke to them all day. Sorry. Before I knew it, there were only a few men left behind to guard the base. And I felt a little lonely. It can't be helped. I'm sure everyone is preoccupied. This may be a good opportunity to make something. I'm sure when everyone returns, they'll be hungry. Yang eats anything without complaint, and I'm sure Lan and Fei would appreciate it. Hey, girlie. Hearing a voice, I stopped my train of thought and looked at him. What's the matter? There's a girl going crazy outside, demanding to see you. I think she's the girl who was with us until a few days ago. I rushed outside and indeed saw her standing there. Elena, what happened to you? Please, Pink, I need you to come with me. Without answering me, Elena grabbed my hand. Elena? How did she have so much strength? Detriment. Yang. Come out here, Redford. We know you're in here. It's pointless hiding. The twins took the lead down the hallway. I was walking behind them and looked outside. I had a strange sense come over my skin. I didn't sense anyone in this mansion. Did they read my movements? I shouldn't have shown any signs. I was cautious in our preparations. Seems they won't go down so easily. Redford, where are you? Stop hiding and get out here. What's this? The Visconti were waiting. They all shot at once. A submachine gun. Despite being inside, they fired bullets like heavy rain. But it was difficult to control. No matter how good the weapon, it's meaningless if it doesn't hit. It seems like our plan was leaked. How did she have so much strength? She had gripped me tightly, and my brows furrowed. Elena seemed desperate to take me somewhere. Wait, where are you taking me, Elena? We're almost there. Please come with me. Huh? This is Krita. This way. It's this building. Without letting me stop her, Elena pulled me in. Wait, Elena. As soon as we got in the building, we heard an intense gun battle. You can't. This place is... I desperately tried to stop her, but Elena swung my hand away and started running. Without any hesitation, she jumped into the room in front of us. Oh, Yang, there's someone in the back of that thing. We can't escape. Seeing that we were welcome in, I wasn't surprised. I sensed a familiar presence among the men. Orlok! How dare you? Orlok, why are you with the Visconti? Weren't you from the church? Gosh, you're so confusing. No hard feelings. This is what His Excellency wanted. Orlok looked at me and simply spoke. So, Rosberg sided with the Visconti. He realized that he couldn't control the Lao Shu, so he changed partners. None taken. I've always wanted to fight you. Hey, wait. I don't think he's worth your time, Yang. That's right. We'll handle him, Yang. Look for Redford. The twins were ready to fight and jumped in to tell me to go. Once they get going, I can't stop them. Do as you please. I figured I'd handle the guy with the submachine gun and turned around. The man holding the weapon was so assured of his safety that he showed no signs of fear. There's no value in a machine you can't handle. Once I get closer, those guns will be a major disadvantage. Very true. I kicked the floor. As I gained momentum towards them, the gun began to go off again. I knew it. Neither accurate nor refined. Perhaps not many would charge straight towards them, facing the barrel of a gun. I smirked, seeing the submachine gun unable to aim. I closed the distance and swung my weapon without hesitation. Without a word, the man fell over, and I kicked him aside to pave the way. I looked back at the twins fighting Orlok, and the battle was a flurry of swords. The timing of their attacks matched almost exactly, with only the slightest adjustments. The difference was difficult to distinguish. One wrong move and you're a goner. Not bad, but not as good as me. Before their attacks could hit Orlok, he took a deep step in and swung his sword. No! Baby! Faye fell as blood spread from his shoulder. Faye! Lance screamed Faye's name, then slid between him and Faye to protect him. I'm fine. Be careful. Faye gripped his shoulder, unable to pick up his weapon. He won't be able to fight with that injury. Seeing movement in the corner of my eye, I gripped my blood-stained weapon tighter. I heard the sound of a gunshot. Welcome. I gotta say, you're not the type I usually invite over this late at night. Oh, Gilbert. You should try it. Yang, you see this? His gun was held at Pinker as he held her around the neck. No! Oh yeah, I'm here. This hurts. His arm was choking me, and I could barely move. Not only that, his grip around my neck was so strong, I felt like I would faint at any moment. If you don't want me to hurt her, just let us kill you. What the hell? That's not fair. Lance screamed as she held Faye. Not fair? Didn't think I'd hear that from a Lao Shu. I'm just using my noggin. That's so cute. Besides, this all happened because you can't handle your own men. That's how you get screwed over in the end. Really? You're making my ears bleed. I should have done away with you sooner. Of course, Yang showed no signs of panic and smirked as if it were all funny. Give him back. Lena? I wanted to be by his side. I wanted to be with him. In her hands was a gun that didn't suit her nature at all. I didn't know, Elena. I thought back on her demeanor, and it all made sense. You were relieved. You weren't relieved because you were finally free of Lee. Oh my god, I can read! You didn't want to lose him. Stockholm Syndrome. Cut it out. She saved you. Can't you think of her feelings? She wanted to save you all this time. Lan ran towards Elena and swung her weapon. Although panicked, Elena awkwardly pointed the gun at Lan. Just then, I won't let you. I'm going to stop the Lao Shu. Stop stabbing children, Orlok. Oh my god. Orlok cut in from the side and knocked Lan's body away. Lan fell in a heap on the floor, and blood spread out over her clothes. Orlok must have stabbed Lan with his dagger when they came in contact. Lan! Faye was already injured, but he desperately ran towards Lan. I should have killed you. Lan's eyes narrowed. Yang's... Oh my god! Ah! Yang's eyes narrowed. He swung the twin hooks in his hands, flicking away the blood and sweat. He turned towards Elena. If you weren't there. Ah! Although Elena pulled the trigger, her aim didn't hit Yang. Not only that, the recoil of the gun caused her to fall back. Then, since I killed Lee, let me kill you. Yang looked down at her and slashed without hesitation. Ah! I couldn't stop him. Elena's blood splattered, and her body fell to the floor. I wanted to save her, but in the end I couldn't. I didn't consider Elena's feelings. I thought all I needed to do was keep her away from the drugs. I thought that would be enough to save her. I realized how naive I was being, and my vision darkened before me. Anyway, you're soft, Redford. Yang shook the blood off his hooks and taunted the Visconti boss. Are you often misled by women? Did she tell you that she's important to me? Do you really think she's worth anything as a hostage? Yang gave a mocking smile and spoke in a careless way. You think I'd give up my life for one woman? Or even offer my men's lives for her? Gilbert's eyes sharpened. If that's your idea of a bluff, it's terrible. But if you mean it, if you meant it, that's a problem too. Get him. The members of the Visconti followed his command and shot at Yang. Yang swiftly jumped and ran through the room, avoiding the bullets. They continued to rain relentlessly, Several made contact, causing him to bleed. However, Yang didn't seem to care and charged forward all the same. Until finally, he pressed close to the Visconti boss. Yang Xuan Gao was right in front of my eyes. I was being used as a shield. Yang seemed intent on stabbing the both of us at once. This is supposed to be the good end. What the hell? What the hell? Okay. I saw Yang charge towards us once again. I was prepared for death and I froze. Just then, I saw a flash. The golden eyes captured me. I thought I heard a gunshot far away. He fell on his knees before me. I felt the arm around me loosen. I shook his arm off and ran towards Yang. This is supposed to be a good end. His body had taken the rain of bullets, and he was covered in brutal wounds. Bright red blood came seeping from his chest. No, stop, I muttered as if in prayer. He always continued fighting, no matter how his wounds. But here he was, drenched in blood. The harsh truth was in front of me, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I held up his blood-stained arms, and he reached towards me. His eyes were slightly smiling, and I'd never seen him so peaceful. His gaze, it was so tender. I wonder what happened to me. Yang. I touched his cheek with a shaking hand. I wish I could have played with you just a little longer. What the Those were his last words. The strength left his bloodied body, and he fell to the floor. No. What? Morning sunlight shone through the window, tickling my eyelids as they opened. I felt a chill as I got out of bed, opened the window, and took a deep breath. It's winter. My eyes thinned at the piercing cold breeze and muttered, "All right." As usual, mornings at the church were busy. I swiftly got dressed and prepared myself for the day's chores. After Yang died, I resumed my normal life at the church. I prayed, cleaned, and fulfilled my daily tasks one by one. Everyday life had returned to normal. However, I felt a deep hole in my heart. I couldn't even tell if it hurt anymore. Life felt empty and unreal. I wished I could leave. Oh, I had a broom in hand as I cleaned the backyard and saw a shadow. I assumed he came to visit the cemetery, so I gave a polite bow. That day, the Laoshu lost their head and disbanded shortly after. The Visconti currently ruled over Valeno. They were now the largest family in Boulogne. Their relationship with the Falzone family was good, and there weren't any disputes. I wonder if you like lilies too. I was alone, leaving flowers on Dante's grave. I heard footsteps approaching and slowly looked up to see Gil. You've come to visit. Yeah, though I'm sure Dante wouldn't have been thrilled about it. That's certainly true. I can see him saying there was no need. Looks like the Falzone are still looking after that girl. A bit. She was unfortunate, being manipulated by a man like Yang. It would have been nice to save her sooner. I don't know about that. We shouldn't be meddling in other people's love affairs. Gil stared at the girl cleaning the backyard and muttered. I think Yang hesitated for a split second back there. Usually, he doesn't care about anyone dying. He's not even afraid of his own death. If he had just stabbed her, he would have gotten me, but he didn't. She may have kept her life, but she might have lost her happiness forever. Phew. I stopped cleaning and looked up at the sky. It was as clear and blue as usual. I think snow will be falling shortly. Yang, do you like snow? I asked an unanswerable question and gave a bitter smile. There were so many things about him that I didn't know. He never even told me his real name. I had so many regrets. No matter what I did, the thought of him lingered in my mind. He had captured my heart eternally. This is supposed to be a good ending, you guys. I don't... What? Huh? How? I didn't like that. I don't like it. Okay, we're gonna take a break because I need to get up and stretch. So, we have one more Yang ending to do. And then we can move on to Dante. So let me just get my handy dandy little guide up and do this. We're going to go to chapters. Oh, hold on, my controller's not responding the way I need it to. Just going to reset them really quickly. to go to. Chapter 6. Low, low, yes. Fast forward. If you're that insistent, I suppose I can look out for her as well. What? Really? Yes. Thank you, Yang. No need to thank me. Now hurry back. Yang beckoned me back, and I timidly returned to bed. He grabbed my wrist and pulled me under the blanket. I closed my eyes, and immediately, once my lips were sealed, and playtime began once more. Once I've played with you, I'll return you to Yang. But it'll just be your head. What? Stop! I wanted to get out of Lee's grasp and desperately backed away onto the bed. My back eventually met the cold wall. I was still in pain from being hit earlier, and my body couldn't move as I wanted. Ah! Lee suddenly had a needle in his hand. Don't worry. It'll get better fast, and you won't be able to worry about anything. I felt a pain of the needle piercing me. No. I tried to push him off, but Lee had a good grip on me, and he mercilessly injected me with something from the needle. I tried to scream someone's name, but I no longer knew whose name I was trying to call. The end. There we go. All the bad ends. Ugh. So now, if we go to extras, I should have most of Yang's. Oh, I'm missing one. Yeah, whatever. Alright, now we need to get on to Dante's route. Dante. Before we do that, I need to change something on my gameplay screen. Make that visible, make that invisible. Whoop! Haha! We have now moved on to the Dante Falzone route. We're going to start the main storyline. Skip the opening scene? Yes. We're going to skip through all of this and just make the choices we need to get onto the Dante Falzone route, and then from there we'll do a blind playthrough to see what ending I get, because that's been going well for us. It's rude not to greet someone. I usually greeted anyone who passed by, especially the members of our parish. But he does come here early in the morning to bring flowers. I assume he did that so he wouldn't be bothered by others. If that's the case, I better leave him alone. I nodded without saying a word. I looked up and saw that he was standing right in front of me. Senor? Early, aren't you? Why, yes. I wanted to clean before everyone arrived this morning. You're quite early yourself, senor. Yes, I suppose. What's this all about? Why is he talking to me? Is there something he wants from me? I've never spoken with him like this before. I was just a commoner and he was in the mafia. It was unusual, given our standings. He mumbled something with the same stern look on his face. Buona giornata. Good day in Italian. Thank you, terminology. Yes. Anche a te, signor. You too in Italian. Thank you, terminology. Wow. Orlock. Oh, that's what life is. A boo boo boo. I think they had a reason to leave. Senorita? Signorna, may I ask you something? Who's this? Why do we keep getting new characters? Huh? A voice called to me as I passed the casino. The man looked like he was in his 30s and was quite handsome. Is something the matter? Oh, I was just curious. Do you have an interest in the casino? Oh, I was just passing by. I don't have a particular interest. I didn't have a talent for gambling. But more than that, I wasn't the type to even step inside a casino. A perfect answer. Who are you? Huh? Indeed, someone like yourself would not take an interest in such a hellhole. How do you know who I think I know who you are. Someone like myself? You speak as if you know me. This is the first time we've met, isn't it? Indeed. This is the first time we've exchanged words. You're being creepy, sir. Go away. I simply made the assumption based on your appearance and demeanor. Don't assume things about me. In another life, I was in love with the fiercest mafia boss. He continued to speak in a way that made it seem like he was warning me. Do not get yourself involved with gambling. After all, no one ever wins what truly matters. Oh, And with that, he turned around and walked away. Who was he? Hello, Playboy. Hello, my detective husband. Marco. Politely decline. I don't need shit from Nicola. Thoughts? Vroom. Give thanks for the day. I thank you, God in heaven, for watching over us today. A prayer of thanks for the day. It was a blessing in itself that I was actually alive here now. If I had simply roamed the streets as an orphan, who knows what would have happened. The church raised me to be the person I am today. Dear God, please, please grant me the strength to help others one day. The wind. Yang. Chapter or prologue 2. You're right, he is a nice person. Mafia or not, they are our neighbors. We all share the same faith in God. Thank goodness he was a member of the Falzone. The Falzone and the Visconti families wouldn't get very upset over the things the children did. But if it were someone from the Lao Shu, then again, I doubt the Lao Shu would ever come to the church. You know, Jean, people come to church to pray. You shouldn't run around like that. Just as the Signor said, be careful next time, okay? Okay, sorry, sis. It's unusual to see someone so young. I'm with you. Hello, Gilbert. Hello, Elena. Hello, Elena. Leave him be. I'm curious what he's doing there, but I don't want to scare him or anything. I better get back to work. We'll come again. Where's Elena? I noticed on my way back that she wasn't around. Sister? What's the matter? It looks like Elena is a bit behind. I'd like to wait for her here. You're right. If you could, then please do be careful. Thank you. This street bordered the Veleno district ruled by the Lao Shu. It was also a well-known area where citizens warned others not to enter carelessly. I hoped Elena is all right. I'd better look for her if she doesn't show up soon. I thought about my course of action as I looked back towards Strano when a person appeared in front of me. He was at the church earlier. Pinker NeonNova. I came for you. What? Did I make the wrong choices? For me? Wait, you know my name? I don't think I told you my name earlier. I know you very well. Even things you don't know about yourself. Don't be a creep, Warlock. Huh? Pink, were you waiting for me? I'm sorry. All the supplies fell while I was carrying them. I should have tied everything together more tightly. Elena smiled with a blushing face, then gripped my hand tightly. I'm sorry for being so clumsy. No need to apologize, Elena. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you were here, too. It's scary being out alone. Let's hurry on back. I'm sure the sisters are worried. Yes, but... Elena hurriedly pulled my hand to leave. I looked towards the young man. Huh? But he wasn't there anymore. I was deep in thought about the young man while drinking my soup. What's the matter? You've been looking rather dazed after your return. I'm sorry, Sister Sophia. It's not much, but I talked about the young man I met in Valeno. Are you sure that happened? Don't question me. Yes, he was right there in front of me just before you came. I didn't notice anyone at all. Maybe it's because I wanted to hurry back. What a bizarre experience. Oh, oh, maybe that person likes you, Pink. I don't think so. I wonder what he wanted to say. Yes, that's right. This has never happened before. We may need to hurry. I am blessed to have finished my duties for today. Thank you for watching over. In the middle of my prayers, someone knocked on the door. At this hour? Come in. Sister Sophia, I didn't expect to see you here. Is there a problem? I just thought I wanted to see you. Huh? Perhaps that sounds strange, considering we've been seeing each other every day. We haven't talked in a while, so I thought that now would be a good time. Of course. This reminds me of how I used to go see you when I was scared and couldn't sleep. Even then, you were a strong child. You only came to me when you had a bad dream. Sister Sophia, I know how you used to restrain yourself. I'm sure you wanted to see me more often back then. Oh, but it was so long ago. Yes, and from now on, if there's anything at all on your mind, feel free to see me. Having children to talk to is something that brings us adults joy. I'm a young adult woman, Sister Sophia. Let me live. Oh, Sister Sophia, you still see me as a kid, don't you? Why, yes, you will always be a child of our church, and a child to me as well. Listen carefully, Pinker. Her eyes were filled with love and fear as she spoke my name. Regardless of the situation or circumstance, you are family to us here. The Lord will protect you no matter what happens. Ominous. And of course, Sister Sophia smiled and patted my head like I was a small child again. I will protect you too, I promise. Sister Sophia, what is this all about? I was about to ask, but my intuition told me otherwise. I decided to keep the question to myself. I couldn't sleep. I kept dwelling on what happened today, and it was keeping me awake. Maybe I should pray. I got up from my bed. Without changing, I headed to the church. Having the church all to myself tonight is really something special. Huh? Where did you... I came here to speak with you. I believe we were interrupted earlier. I need you to come with me. This must be confusing, but I'll explain later. Don't be afraid. I am, though, sir. What? Huh? What in the world is going on here? He walked towards me and reached his hand out to my arm. Is he going to abduct me? No. I tried to move away from him when suddenly the doors opened and the cold night air blew inside. The moonlight brightened the doorway. Don't move. Ah! Dante Falzone. I did it right, guys. It's not like I followed a guide or anything. Dante Falzone? What is he? The young man next to me sighed as I tried to figure out what was going on. After all this, more interruptions. I know what the rats are up to. Family members appeared from behind Dante. Is that it? You'll need an army if you seriously want to stop me. The words the young man said didn't sound like a bluff. He was very serious. Let's go. I can protect you against all of them without a problem. Wait! Get away from her. Sophia rushed in and stood between me and the young man. Sister Sophia? Another. I won't allow anyone to get in the way. Even you, sister. What the hell? In his hand was a cross-shaped dagger, ready to come down on her. No, you don't. The young man sneered at Dante's gun. He quickly and easily moved to avoid the oncoming bullets. The gunshots resounded through the hall. A hit would have brought the young man down to the ground, but he continued to dodge them, seeking a way to come closer to me when... Over here. A voice jumped into my ears. Without thinking, I reached out my hand. Signor Falzone took my hand in his and then pulled me into his arms. As he held me, the gunshots continued once more through the halls. With each gunshot, I could feel the vibration from his body through mine. Cover me. Sir. The members of the Falzone family directed their shots at the young man. Ugh. We made our escape from the church. Wait, Sister Sophia. As I screamed in sorrow, he looked at me sternly. His voice was cold when he spoke. Silence. He pushed me into a black car that was waiting along the road. He then jumped in and the car sped off. And I've been kidnapped again. Or rescued, depending on how you look at it. What is going on? Nothing was making sense. It was as if I had fallen asleep and was having another bad dream, like I used to. But the smell of gunpowder was so strong that I knew it couldn't be a dream. This wasn't a dream. I was forced to accept the new reality unfolding before me. Ta-da! Chapter 1. Anissa. The car came to a stop in front of a manor in Falce, and I was ushered out. First off, save. Confirmation on Dante's route. Whoop, 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 whoop. Falce, the district ruled by the Falzone family. It is the largest and most elegantly constructed district in Berlin. Many have lived here for years, and the citizens are all in support of the Falzone. Thank you, terminology. Is this the Falzone family's? Follow me. Without a second glance at me, he began to walk ahead. I was so confused, but had little choice than to follow him. We ascended the red carpeted stairs and finally stopped at the end of a corridor. This is your room. My room? That door leads to the bath. It's only accessible through there. Feel free to use what you need here. If you require anything else, you can call for the housemaid. Wait just a moment. What is it? Right. I will have one of my men stand by to guard you. He will be at your disposal. Guard? If you are not satisfied with him, he can be replaced. That's not important. Am I really going to be staying here? Ugh. He gave a heavy sigh and spoke to me in a dismissive way. Is that even a question? Of course it's a question. Ugh. There's no need to sigh like that. An irritated frown came across his face, but I couldn't keep quiet any longer. Someone comes to abduct me, then you appear out of nowhere, and a gunfight breaks out at the church. Now you bring me here, and you still can't provide me with a simple explanation. You go, protagonist. Good job. Do you honestly expect me to understand what's going on? Of course not. Now that I think back, maybe reaching my hand out to him was a mistake. I felt a wave of dread come over me. Pinker NeonNova, you were attacked at the church, correct? Yes, that's right. If you had stayed, do you think things would have gotten better? Well, I suppose not. We need to determine who is behind the attack before they strike again. Until we figure things out, you'll need to stay in hiding, away from the church. Wait, so you brought me here to protect me? I thought that was clear. Anything else? I did have another question. So, why did you save me? I was merely there by coincidence. As if. I don't believe that at all. Coffee. By coincidence? I like the attitude I'm giving her this time. Really? So it was coincidence that you and your men were at the church in that precise moment? Ugh. Yes, it was. I cannot put it any other way. You're a liar. You're a little lying liar. Is there a problem with someone like myself taking a nighttime stroll? I couldn't say anything in objection. Are we finished? If so, go to sleep. Don't tell me what to do. Wait, I still have. I'll only say this once. I'm a busy man with no time to spare for you. Oh, you're a little tsundere, aren't you? His harsh words dug deep into whatever hope I had left. Then he walked out of the room. He didn't even look back. The room was adorned with lavish furniture, far finer than I had ever seen before. Staying in such a room was a once-in-a-lifetime chance for someone like myself. But that didn't make me feel any better. Who was that trying to abduct me? I hope Sister Sophia is all right. I wonder if everyone else is safe. And how did Dante Falzone happen to be there? And why did he bring me here? And if he wanted to offer me protection, he could have left me with the police. The Falzone family is on good terms with the authorities. There is no reason why they'd avoid them. Even after going to bed, my mind still raced. Images played over and over in my mind. The haunting fact that I had almost been kidnapped sent a chill down my spine. Okay, so she doesn't consider the fact that we went with Dante being kidnapped. Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's super fair, so. I doubt I'll be able to sleep tonight. So I guess in this route we didn't get kidnapped. Yet. As expected, my eyes were painfully heavy the next morning. It's so cold. The fluffy blankets should have kept me warm, but I could tell my hands and feet were cold. I wouldn't mind something warm to drink. I looked at the door to my room. Would it be all right if I left this room? I thought about it for a moment, trying to recollect what Signor Falzone said. I don't think he said I couldn't leave the room. I got out of bed and put on a robe once I was ready. I slowly opened the door. Oh, is there anything you need? Ah! A lady passing by was staring at me as if she had happened upon something peculiar. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if I could go outside, so. I was having a hard time explaining what I was doing. She noticed that I was a bit flustered and smiled gently at me. I've heard all about you from the young Dante Signorina. Really? My name is Julia. I'm the housemaid here. Julia. I'm Pinker NeonNova. You can call me Pink. Nice to meet you, Julia. Why, thank you, Pink. So, what wakes you up so early today? I was a bit chilly, so I was hoping I might be able to get a cup of warm water. But you didn't know if you could leave the room? Yes, that's right. Well then, follow me to the kitchen. Is it really all right? Why, of course. This way. Julia says, I make the rules. I decided to follow Julia. She was walking very quietly. The others must still be asleep. The carpet muffled our footsteps, and I could barely hear anything in the entire house. We arrived at the kitchen, and Julia beckoned for me to sit in one of the chairs. Just a moment, and I'll make you a cup of chocolate clara. Ooh. Hot chocolate. Clara means hot in Italian. Thank you, terminology. You're looking quite pale. You just sit tight while I get it ready, dear. Thank you, Julia. I always thought the Falzones were very severe. But Julia is just a kind person. She's how I imagine the mothers of Italy must be. It was the first time I felt at ease since my arrival. You've only been here like 12 hours, max. Not even. Probably closer to like 6. She handed me a cup of chocolate colada, and I took a sip. Its sweet warmth spread through my body like a gentle embrace. When I finished drinking, I gave my thanks to Julia and left the kitchen. I headed back to my room. Who is that? A silhouette was moving back and forth around the entrance to my room. Is he looking for someone? Aha! I forgot how cute his voice was. Huh? You're the boss's guest, aren't you? Yes. He offered me the room for now, but I wouldn't exactly consider myself a guest here. Or at least I didn't feel as though I'd been extended a true invitation. The boss did say you were our guest. I heard that I heard he saved you at the church when you were attacked. Why, yes. You know about that? Yes. You should be counting your lucky stars that he was there to save you. You're so cute. Stop it. Oh, where are my manners? I should introduce myself first. The name's Leo. Leo Cavan. Sure. I've been assigned to serve you from today onward. Leo's energy was a bit over the top, but I introduced myself as well. My name is Pinker NeonNova. You can call me Pink. Understood. Here's hoping we'll get along, Pink. I think we will. I think we'll be little troublemakers, and you're gonna let me get away with murder. Literally. In game. His bright smile had me quite taken aback. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. A soft chuckle escaped me, seeing his bright and energetic disposition. Well, it's no use standing around here. Please, right this way. He ushered me back inside my room. No! How dare you? Now then, let me explain a bit more about how things work here. I don't like rules. First, I'll bring you your meals to your room every day. Are you sure about that? It would be far too much work. Well, the maids could do that too, but for the time being, I'll take care of it. After all, the boss told me to ensure your safety first and foremost. Not that I think anything bad would happen on the way from the kitchen to here, but better safe than sorry, as they say. So cute. You're so cute. If you need anything, call for me, or you can call for the boss or Nicola. Nicola? We were in love with him once upon a time. Remember? Oh, do you know him? Leo's words sparked my memory. Glad to hear that. That smile of yours is well worth the effort. Well, be careful. Yes, I've spoken with him before. He was kind enough to help me in town. That's so like Nicola. He's very kind to girls. He's a playboy. Wait, why did you mention his name? Huh? Well, he's the boss's go-to guy. So, they're good friends? Come to think of it, I recall seeing them together at church, too. You say friend, I say right-hand man. He's our underboss. Underboss, the second in command within the family. Thank you, terminology. Underboss? I was surprised to hear something unexpected come out so casually. He must be very important here. Oh, you didn't know? I suppose he doesn't really like talking about it. Of course, he's well known with the police and other organizations around here. Well, Nicola's the boss's cousin, so he's basically number two in the Foul Zone lineup. I see. Roberto was very aggressive towards Nicola back in town. 'Cause Roberto's crazy. Now I understand why Roberto acted that way. After all, encountering someone as high up as Nicola could easily turn contentious. Who's there? Leo went to the door and opened it to see who was outside. Ah, Leo. Perfect timing. Ugh. With a surprised look on his face, Leo quickly opened the door wide. It was such a coincidence. With a smile on his face, the very person we were discussing came in. Nicola Francesca. In all his glory. Good day, Signorina. Welcome to our family. Is it a bit early to be welcoming me to your family? Signor Francesca. Maybe it was because I had just learned he was the Foul Zone's underboss. I already felt tense in front of him. Come now, none of this Signor business. Just call me Nicola. Okay. Understood. But if that's the case, please call me Pink. Nicola smiled at my ready acceptance. Acceptance. Actually, he had been smiling ever since stepping into the room, but something didn't feel quite right. Hmm? Is there something on my face? Nicola asked me curiously. Oh my god. There he goes, smiling again. But he doesn't sound happy. I didn't know why that thought came to mind. All I knew was that his friendly behavior didn't seem completely sincere. Are you annoyed that I'm here? Not at all. What makes you think that? Oh, do I look unhappy or something? If so, that's Dante's fault. I know it can't be helped sometimes, but he woke me up at 2 o'clock this morning. There goes my beauty sleep. 2 in the morning. I didn't recall the exact time everything happened, but I must have been at fault for that. Now I felt bad about what happened. He wanted me to greet you this morning, along with taking care of some other things. Senor Falzone asked you to meet with me? Same here. He woke me up in the middle of the night to tell me to come and see you first thing in the morning. I think he wanted us to stay nearby, especially after what happened. You know, you really would feel a lot safer with us around you and all that. Is that what he said? Not at all, but I figured that's what the boss was getting at. Leo spoke his thoughts honestly and with a bright smile on his face. Nicola followed, reprimanding Leo. You shouldn't assume things, you know, especially the words of our boss. Oh, that's right. I'm very sorry, Nicola. What struck me after hearing what Signor Falzone's orders were was that he puts an emphasis on efficiency rather than kindness or care. I guess he just made whatever decision was reasonable as boss. But if he is the way Leo described, as I fell deep into thought, Nicola began to speak. So let me jump right into business. I know it's still very early, but there are a few things we need to go over. I hope you don't mind. Not at all. Please don't worry. I'm wide awake now. I want to know what's going on. Everything has happened so quickly. I can only imagine what you're going through. Yesterday, you were attacked at the church and placed under Dante's protection. This will be relayed to everyone here by tonight. Until then, we'd like to ask that you please stay in your room. We wish to avoid any misunderstandings. Oh, but we'll make sure this will be easy for you. If you need anything, don't be afraid to ask. I should be as honest with them as possible. I'm sorry, but I've stepped outside the room already. I'm sneaky. I wanted to have something warm to drink, and I met with Julia in the hallway. She took me to the kitchen this morning. Did you encounter anyone else? No. Then it won't be a problem. But next time, I'd appreciate if you let us know first. Yes, I apologize. Now then, I need to take care of some other business. You must be very busy. Well, Arca has never had an incident where the church was attacked after all. It just means that the Foul Zone have a lot more to do now. May I ask you something, Nicola? I looked at him cautiously. What happened at the church? How is Sister Sophia doing? I'm worried about whether everyone's safe. I'm sorry, but I can't answer that. I need Dante's approval before discussing what happened there. Fuck Dante. Tell me what's going on at my home. I'm in the Dante route and I'm already annoyed with him. God damn it. We always follow the orders of our boss. To that end, we also haven't notified the sisters that you've been brought here. We can't risk information being leaked now. All they know about is the attack itself and that you've disappeared. But I didn't expect them to hide my whereabouts. Why hide that I'm safe? They couldn't even disclose that information to the sisters? So they had no idea what happened to me. We have our problems too. Things you wouldn't understand. Shut up! I suppose Nicola could tell I wasn't happy. He shared as much as he could, but ended up leaving the room with a frown on his face. Leo looked on, worried, but with Nicola's departure, he began to speak again. To pick up where I left off, I'll do what I can for you. I'll be around you constantly, but I hope you understand it's because I'm your bodyguard. Yes, I understand. It is your job after all. I'd rather have someone with me anyways, with so much time to spend thinking by myself. I understand. It can be tough being alone. Yes, so I'd be happy if I could get to know you better, Leo. Or is that too much to ask from someone who will be guarding me? Absolutely not. I am here for you. Oh, best boy. Best boy of this route. Nicola and Dante can stuff it. They're stupid. I don't like them. Thank you, Leo. I was glad Leo was so approachable, despite being a member of the Foul Zone family. I'm making bad choices, you guys. I can tell. It's a good thing Leo was assigned to me. Well, let me go and get your breakfast. Julia's cooking is the best there is. Yes, the chocolate colada she made this morning was delicious. Meanwhile, telephone. Oh, this guy. What happened? It's unusual to hear from you like this. It's about the Lao Shu. I'm assuming it's urgent. The door opened without warning. There was only one person who'd be able to get away with that. I nodded at him to wait. Nicola nodded back with a grin on his face. Yes, I need to talk to you today. Got it. I'll be there tonight. Let's say 10 o'clock. I'll be in my office. Let me know if you'll be late. And the police may want to increase their patrols around Arca. Let's talk about it tonight. See ya. I have to figure out what voice I'm going to do for Dante. It might take me a while. We'll try some. You haven't slept at all, have you, Dante? I'll sleep when I need to. We have bigger problems to deal with. I understand we don't have time, but I didn't expect for us to place her under our custody. We should have taken custody of her much sooner. I don't think we're ready, though. Did you say something, Nicola? No, nothing. I just think that things are going to get real busy. All right. We're going to take a short break because I need to get up and stretch. Whoop, whoop. Wasn't it? Speaking of Gilia, she's the glue that holds this place together, so you can talk to her about anything too. Good to know. Understood. And thank you, Leo. I smiled as I watched Leo speed off to the kitchen. Gilia's cooking was absolutely wonderful, just as Leo said it would be. Her freshly baked cornetto was flaky and soft and had a sweet buttery aroma. The jam was filled with pieces of fruit, and the cafe latte was rich with flavor. It was clear that the ingredients she used were the highest of quality. But eating breakfast calmed me a bit, and as I slowly restored my energy, another question crossed my mind. Leo, can I ask you something? How long do I have to stay here? Well, I'm not sure. I think until the boss lets you go. That's not an answer, young gentleman. How might I get that to happen? Or could I only wait for my attacker to be caught? I'm not sure. I don't think catching your attacker is enough to ensure your safety. After all, whoever's pulling the strings is still out there somewhere. The boss will make the right call. Don't you worry. I am worried, though. He didn't really answer my questions. With an anxious heart, I continued asking. Well then, do you think it might be another week? Or maybe 2? If things go well, my guess. And if they don't? Well, maybe half a year or so? You're telling me to live here until then? I'm sure what'll happen will change depending on the situation. You'll just have to bear with us until then. No. But can't you at least tell me what's happened at the church? I want to know if everyone's all right. I personally don't mind sharing that information with you, but I can't step outside my line of duty. I'm really sorry about that. No, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Tell me the truth. I shouldn't be asking you these things. Oh, don't worry. I know it's rough and not knowing what's happened. Well, let me find Nicola and ask him if I can share any of the details with you. Really? Yes, I'll do what I can, but don't get your hopes up. Thank you, Leo. I really didn't have anything else to hope for aside from his words. My expectations grew by the minute as dinner time approached. Leo left to get my dinner, and soon after, Nicola appeared at my door to see me. Buonasera. May I speak to you? Good evening in Italian. Thank you, terminology. I heard from Leo that you wanted to know what happened at the church. Yes, I can comply with what's asked of me here, as long as I know what happened to everyone. I understand how you feel, especially considering the situation, but our boss Dante makes the calls. We can't go against his orders. I just want you to understand that's how organizations like these work. I pondered a bit on Nicola's words, then I began to speak. Then, this is the only other way. May I speak with Signor Falzone directly? Ah, unfortunately, that's not possible. Leo and I are here in the boss's stead. But no one will do anything unless he gives an order, correct? If so, the only way to get Signor Falzone's approval is to speak with him. After all, he had the information that I was looking for. I suppose you're right. Dante is in his office tonight. I'll tell you where it is later. Thank you. But you need to keep quiet about where you got that information. Nicola, don't do shady things. Oh my god. Listen, Yang literally murders me, and you are, like, shadier than him. You underhanded little bastard. This is about all I can do for you. I do have my position to protect. This is something I want, and nothing else, so I'll make sure you won't get involved. I'll keep it a secret from Leo, too. This is all of my own accord. That's all I need to hear. Leo will see me after he confirms you went to sleep. I suggest you sleep early and take action after 10 o'clock. You're gonna get me in trouble, sir. Understood. I'm sure it wouldn't earn me Signor Falzone's favor if I bothered him too late at night. Thank you, Nicola. You're very welcome. You... Why you gotta be like this? Why you gotta be like this? Till tonight. I spoke to Leo a bit before 10. Leo, I'm a bit tired today, so if it's all right, I'd like to go to bed soon. Ah, where are my manners? Please, do get some rest. I'll be taking my leave. Buonetto. Entre a te, Leo. I should get moving. I slowly opened the door and peeked outside. Fortunately, no one seemed to be around. It's now or never. I felt my heart racing as I left my room to go to the boss's office. It's unfortunate we don't have any insight as to what happened. We're completely in the dark. I still can't believe what happened at the church, especially here in Arca. Hell, even our boss is holding his head. What a way to spit at God. I suppose the concept of God is different to them. I'm not surprised. You can't expect common sense from the Lao Shu. No, from Yang. How is the investigation going? Did the Lao Shu pull any inside strings? I wouldn't be surprised if they bribed some of our guys, but nothing really major so far. Worse, we can't confirm that the Lao Shu struck the church since we have no proof. If we could at least talk to the girl who was abducted, or to the sister, then we could probably get what we need to make a move. Not much we can do without either of them. Dante's lying to Marco and saying that the Lao Shu took me. Or that I'm missing somehow. And it's not his fault. What the hell? What is this shady shit going on? What? I told everyone I was busy. We can talk later. It must be important given the hour. I can always come back. No. Wait. I gestured Marco to stay in his seat and turned my attention towards the door. Come in. Seeing who appeared from behind the door made my mind go blank. Pink, there you are. Nicola did this. After knocking a number of times, I finally got a reply to enter, so I opened the door. There in the room was the boss and... Marco, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. Dante, you could have let me know that you already had her in your custody. He doesn't look happy at all. I'm sorry to bother you, senor. I didn't know you had a guest. I was hoping I could speak with you in private. I glanced at Marco. Our eyes met, and Marco turned his head away and shrugged. It doesn't have to be now. Maybe we can speak later, please. I looked at Dante earnestly in the hopes that he would listen. Fine. You're supposed to be in my custody, but you're walking around freely. Worse still, you have the audacity to bother me in my office at this hour. Unbelievable. I didn't think it was so late. It was only a bit past 10. It wasn't unusual for the people of Berlin to have their dinner at this hour. I suppose I did bring you here. I can't always cater to your requests, but I'll listen to what you have to say this time. You took a risk coming in here. I assume what you're going to say is important. Well, I wasn't sure, but I felt relieved to know that he had at least agreed to speak with me. Thank you. I appreciate your kindness. I kept my eyes on Signor Falzone and smiled. I came here without any expectation, so I'm grateful that you would take the time to listen to me. The boss watched me as I spoke. Oh, it's a little smile. Look at his little smile. This is the first time we've seen him smile. Oh my god. God damn it. This little tsundere boy. How dare he do this to me? Is that? He looked calmer now. Marco, do you mind? I want this to be between us. Marco nodded in agreement. Dante, I hope you'll treat her well. She's just a kid. I'm not a kid. I'll do things my way. Now go. Marco sighed, then gave me a look of acknowledgement before taking his leave. With the room now silent, the boss looked at me coldly. I could feel the weight of his presence with that stare alone. It just dawned on me that I was actually face to face with a mafia boss. I took a deep breath and began to speak. I'm sorry to have bothered you. I didn't know Marco was here. But this was the only chance I had to speak with you. What's done is done, so you must have a reason for coming here. He continued to stare at me. I mustered the strength to speak. I want to go back to the church. Even if it's dangerous, I want to at least know what's happening. I'm worried sick about everyone there. I'll talk about it when the time comes, and now is not the time. Is it something that has to be kept secret from me? I just want to know if everyone is safe. Why keep that information from me? His saying nothing about it was making me imagine the worst. Fear began to take over as I bit my lip, waiting for his response. Ignorance is bliss. All you need to know is that this is the safest place in Berlin. We are here to protect you. That is all. But I didn't ask to be protected. Then do you want to die? His cold words made me lose my train of thought. All I knew was that no matter what I said, my words wouldn't get through to him. Even if this place is supposed to be safe, I don't feel safe at all. Let me ask you something. If you learn how dangerous it is outside, will you cooperate with my instructions? Why, yes. You may not know it, but Berlin has been hit with a number of kidnappings. All the victims have been young female orphans with blonde hair. Orphans with blonde hair. It seemed to match my description. I suspect the Lao Shu are abducting them to sell outside of the country. It can't be. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how such a thing was happening here in Berlin. You saw the culprit, which means it's highly likely they'll come for you again. His words seemed to make sense, but if you recall, I was interrupted earlier. which is why I'm here to speak with you. But first, I need you to come with me. Don't be afraid. The person who tried to abduct me said he wanted to speak with me. I tilted my head a bit. It didn't seem like he wanted to sell me. Wait, why does the Falzone want to protect me? I couldn't determine the answer to that from our conversation. I'm done here. Go back to your room. But... He glared at me coldly. I couldn't say anything more. I took my leave and stepped out of his office. A new day arrived. I looked up at the bright sky and sighed deeply. The boss let everyone in the family know that you're here. You should be able to move around the manor a bit more freely now. How about we go to the garden? I'm sure it'll make you feel better. Thank you, but I'll just stay here for today. I see. Even if I could wander around, I'm living among the mafia. I don't feel very secure. I was certain the people here would observe me with interest. I doubt I would feel better walking among a crowd of spectators. Well, how about some reading? Or maybe not. If only you were able to write a letter to your family or something. I don't have any family. Well, everyone at the church is my family, which is why I want them to know that I'm safe. But I can't do that, right? What Nicola told me before crossed my mind as I let out another sigh. Let me speak with our boss. Huh? I understand how strange it must feel, not having any information about the outside. Let me see if you can contact the church. No, your family. Oh, Leo, you're so cute. Why is he the best? Y'all, we love him so much. Coffee time. Thank you, Leo. I could tell that he was sincere in looking out for me. Just hearing those words restored a sense of calm to my heart. He's going to get in trouble. Poor baby. It was nighttime, and Leo had a disheartened look on his face as he entered my room. About what I said earlier. I couldn't get approval for it. I'm sorry. I see. I didn't expect him to get approval for me to contact the church, but it was a ray of hope, however short. I could feel gloom fall upon me again. Maybe I can meet with the boss again. I shook my head to rid myself of the thought. That's not going to happen. He simply won't listen to me. So, I'll just have to wait it out. I could feel the anxiety churning within me. Wednesday, early morning. I stood in the hallway alone. Everyone was still asleep. The manor was shrouded in silence. The door in front of me opened, and the person I was waiting for appeared. Buongiorno, signor. I had thought desperately about how I might be able to meet him outside of his office. You're going to the church, aren't you? I recall seeing you there every Wednesday morning. May I accompany you? No. I don't need to step outside. I can stay in the car. You're not leaving this place. He turned away from me and began walking. He wasn't willing to listen to me at all. Why couldn't I get in touch with the church? My doubts were growing larger by the second. I finally strengthened my resolve. If he's not going to tell me anything, then... I returned to my room after Dante left. Soon after, Leo came in as scheduled. Buongiorno. Here's to another great day. Are you ready for breakfast? I can go and get it for you now. Do you mind if I take a bath first? I want to clear away a bad dream I had. Understood. I'll be waiting for you outside, so please call for me if you need anything. Thank you. I took action the moment Leo closed the door. I think I know what's happening. I am very excited. I need to move while Dante isn't around. Move quickly and quietly. I threw the soft blanket off the bed and peeled back the silk sheets. I hooked the sheet onto a metal piece on the bed frame and tore them in two. This should do. I bound the sheets together and tied the end to the balcony. Now, to climb down. My legs were shaking from the height. It looked a lot further down than I thought. Well, I shouldn't be that injured, even if I do fall. I convinced myself to continue, then grabbed a hold of the silk rope I just made. She said, I'm not a princess. I'm going to save myself. I slowly but surely lowered myself down. I heard a sound from above. The sheets I tied together were starting to tear and come undone. Some cheap sheets. I braced myself for the impact when all of a sudden... What in the world are you doing? Instead of a hard fall, I was met with a loud scolding voice. What? Why are you... I knew something wasn't right, and sure enough. What in the world are you thinking? You could have died. But it wasn't too far of a fall. I used to climb trees around this height before. I thought the church educated the children there, at least to have some common sense. Kids climb trees, you know. Or at least I think they do, don't they? Don't ask me, you punk. The rich pretty boy and the punk church girl. Oh my god. True love. What did you say? How rude. I yelled back at him as I tried to squirm out of his arms. But thank you for catching me. It's fine. As long as you're safe. He slowly lowered me to my feet. It seemed we had both recovered our composure. We're two tsunderes. It's beautiful. Oh my god. You just can't sit still and behave yourself, can you? Well, you did bring me here only to leave me in that room. I can't help but feel scared. I need to move around to keep my worries from spiraling. Scared. He slowly closed his eyes as if in thought. What? Pink? Whoops. I looked up to see Leo with a pale face, looking down at me from the balcony. What? What? You're running away? What in the world are you thinking? Leo, let me talk to her. Remove the sheets and clean the place up. Huh? Right away. Let's go, Pinker. Alright, so I think I'm gonna save it there.
I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.